Okay.
Ready, sir?
Yeah. Hello everyone. As you know, this is a massive open online course on science, technology, and society under the SWAYAM portal, NPTEL National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning. And as you can see, we have completed 7-8 weeks of this course. This is a 12-week course spanning for 30 hours. Um, what we have done till now, if you look at this, we have discussed the thematic preliminaries of the relationship between science, technology, and society. We have discussed certain models of or perspectives on the relationship between science, technology, and society. These perspectives may be uh, classified into three parts: uh, hierarchical or linear model, uh, interactionist model, and embedded model. Okay, and we have also discussed how technology is the medium through which human beings have been interacting with nature. And when I say nature, it includes both natural as well as social phenomena. And what is science? Science is an inquiry into the nature and limits of a particular knowledge. When I say limits of a particular knowledge, by limits I do not mean limitations. Rather, by limits I mean under what limiting conditions science is practiced or pursued. That's extremely important. And and how science and technology, these twin forces of production, how they interact with our economy, our culture, our politics. And and the linear model suggests that no science leads to the development of technology, and technology leads to the development of society. And interactionist model suggests that you see society also determines what kind of science and technology we are going to have. Society also interacts with science and technology. Okay, but the similarity between the two, these two models of the relationship between science and technology on the one hand and society on the other uh, indicates that the linear model and the interactionist model, they treat science, technology, and society as separate entities. On the contrary, what we feel that the embedded model suggests that no, science and technology are not outside the purview of our economic, culture, and polity. Rather, they are very much a part of our social formation. Okay, and in this sense, we have discussed the relationship between science, technology, and society. We have also given you the example of the construction of the New York Bridge, the construction of the public roads in India, uh, and the cognitive dimensions of the relationship between science, technology, and society, the ethical dimensions of the relationship between science, technology, and society, the political dimensions of the relationship between science, technology, and society, they are extremely important. That's why I said from the very beginning, I said philosophy in its pre-19th century incarnation was divided into two parts, namely natural philosophy and moral philosophy. Natural philosophy is nothing but science in the present sense of the term. In fact, the term science was coined by William Whewell in the 19th century. Prior to 19th century, science was known as natural philosophy. And the practitioners of natural philosophy, I mean natural philosophers, were engaged, I mean scientists in the present sense of the term, are engaged in epistemological questions, whereas moral philosophers are engaged in ethical questions. And when we tend to combine, when we tend to integrate natural philosophy with moral philosophy or epistemology with ethics, we tend to arrive at philosophy of science. Okay, that's why it is it is the job of, or it is a challenge for philosophers of science, historians of science, and sociologists of science to look at how to integrate epistemology with ethics. Epistemology is nothing but a study of knowledge, a theory or body of knowledge, right? And ethics is a study of nature of conduct. Okay, and that this is how we tend to integrate epistemology with ethics. It is the job of STS scholars, Science, Technology and Society Studies scholars, to reflect on such integration. And then we have discussed ethos of science. What are the ethos of science? What are the institutional imperatives of science? By Robert King Martin. Universalism, communism, disinterestedness, and organized skepticism. Then we have discussed inequalities in science in terms of rewards and recognitions. And then we have also discussed do artifacts of politics, technology as knowledge, and then the social construction of technological systems. That's extremely important. The social shaping of technology. Okay. Through certain examples, the invention of Edison's Thomas Alva Edison's electric bulb and so on, we can look at how both science and technology, they are influenced by various external factors. The literature suggests that the earlier conception that science is autonomous, having its internal dynamics unconnected with the external world, is no longer sustainable today. Rather, what we do find today is that both science and technology are influenced by various social, economic, political, cultural, ethical, legal, institutional, and ideological factors. Okay, military factors. Okay. And in this sense, a science as a body of knowledge may be neutral, but science in certain social, economic, and political conditions is not neutral. Okay, then how are we going to evaluate the neutrality of a specific technology? Now, the neutrality of a specific technology is based on at least two factors, namely design and control. Okay, the way it is, the particular technology is designed, the way that specific technology is controlled. The questions of ownership and control assume greater significance while evaluating the neutrality of a technology. That's why machines, artifacts, technologies, systems of modern material culture should not be evaluated only in terms of positive and negative environmental side effects or efficiency and productivity, but also the way they embody power and authority. Okay, that's extremely important. When you look at these things, then we have also given the examples of refrigerator, electric bulb, and so on, washing machine, smart house, and so on. And then what we are going to do in the weeks to follow, we'll give more examples, and then we'll discuss the scientific policy resolution of 1958, technology policy statement of 2000. Technology policy statement of 1983. Then Science and Technology Policy of 2003, and then Science, Technology and Innovation Policy of 2013, and obviously now the new Science, Technology and Innovation Policy of 2019-20, which has come up recently. That's going to be extremely important, because in the history of India was the first country to have a science policy. All other countries started following India, after 1958, under the leadership of Nehru, when India formulated the first scientific policy resolution, and where the idea, the spirit of scientific temper was emphasized more, and one and science as a body of knowledge was emphasized, how science can close in the gap between the poor and the rich, that the people, the nation started working on it. Okay, and subsequently, the way we wanted to leapfrog from science to technology in the 1980s, that technology, in terms of technology policy statement, technology was emphasized more, and India wanted to, India as a nation wanted to leapfrog from science and science to technology, from pure science to applied science, and the more applicational aspects were explored. But when you look at the first decade of the 21st century, India also wanted to integrate science and technology, because today's science is tomorrow's technology and vice versa. Okay, the dialectical relationship between basic research and applied research must be explored, must be examined. Okay, the linear, because people very often say that no, basic research leads to applied research, but we can give many examples where you will find that technology has changed the direction of basic research. Okay, if you look at the steam engine in fact helped us understand the laws of thermodynamics. Technology changed the direction of basic research. And that's how you will find that in 2003, when the science and technology policy was formulated, India wanted to integrate both science and technology. And then India entered the product patent regime in 2005, 1st of January 2005, as a consequence of which product patent, as a consequence of the introduction of the product patent regime, what we find that the concept of innovation assumes greater significance. Okay, what are the criteria for attaining patents? Novelty, non-obviousness, and industrial utility. Utility as such. When I say novelty, the product must be new. Non-obviousness, the product must have an inventive step. And when I say utility, it is the one satisfying power of a commodity. A commodity is the one which has got exchange value. Okay? And that kind of utility or industrial utility, why I am telling you, because it must be marketed. And that's how, because of novelty, non-obviousness and so on, the concept of innovation has assumed greater significance. And that's why in 2013, the government of India formulated the science, technology and innovation policy. Okay? Precisely because of the interaction that we tend to see between science and technology on the one hand, and an important economic institution, namely the market, on the other is concerned. There's that interaction must happen. Okay, and then you will find that recently in 2019-20, 2020 also, the new science, technology and innovation policy has been formulated. It has deep implications for the ways in which science has been practiced, science has been pursued, the way we conduct science. We have been conducting science. The practitioners of science seem to have reoriented their approach towards research. Science, which was considered a public resource, has turned out to be an intellectual property. Okay. Science, which was considered a curiosity-driven research, now has become a part of contract obligations. This is what we are going to discuss in the weeks to follow. From now, I hope all of you are attending the lectures, all of you are attempting all of you are taking the weekly assignments seriously, and I hope all of you will be keen to appear in the final examination. Are we going to have one more session? Huh? Are we going to have one more session in October? Okay, we are going to have one more session, maybe in the last week of September or first week of October, just before your final examination, and then you will find that whatever questions you have, please post them on the portal. We have a fantastic teaching assistants team. They will try to answer. If they will not be able to answer, then they will get back to me as course instructor, then I'll answer them. I'm sure all of you are keeping well, and hopefully all of you are keeping a good health, and in the days to come, I hope all of you will write exam, and then will distribute certificates online. If you have any question, please raise those questions now, or else if you have any questions later on, you can post those questions on the portal. I will respond. Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye. Take care. ठीक है? कितना टाइम हुआ? 10 मिनट.